Now we're ready to solve this problem using the kinematic equations.
An airplane accelerates from rest on a runway at 5.50 meter per second squared for 20.25 seconds until it finally takes off the ground. What is the distance covered before takeoff?
In solving word problems, we need to answer these questions. First, what do we know? Second, what are we looking for? Third, which equation do we use? And finally, review your answer and check whether it makes sense.
So based on our problem, what do we know? We know the acceleration of airplane, which is 5.50 meter per second squared. We know the time before takeoff, which is 20.25 seconds. And we also know the initial velocity, which is 0, since it is from rest. What are we looking for? We are looking for the displacement that the airplane traveled from rest before takeoff. Which equation will we use? It must be equation E, since it has all the things we know, plus the thing we want to solve for. Plugging in the values for initial velocity, acceleration, and time, we will get 1,130 meters. Therefore, the airplane covered 1.13 kilometers before takeoff.
Amazing, isn't it? We don't have to measure the airport runway just to know how long the distance needed by airplanes to take off. It's just a matter of kinematic equations. Less hassle, less effort, life hacks. Now let's try another problem where you can relate.
You went with your mother to Bago Market during market day. Upon riding a habal-habal or Filipino motorcycle taxi, the driver starts and apply a constant acceleration of 1.5 meter per second squared. What will your velocity be after 10 seconds? And how far will you have traveled in that time?
Is it possible to solve these questions with only acceleration given? Yes, let's try to solve it. What are we looking for? We are looking for the final velocity. Which equation has all the quantities we know and the quantity we want to know? We know acceleration, and we are given a specific time. So it must be equation C. But what is the initial velocity? Take note that the motorcycle was from rest, so it must be 0. Sometimes we know the things that aren't explicitly listed. So using equation C, let's plug in the values. After 10 seconds, the habal-habal accelerated to 15 meters per second. For the second question, we are looking for displacement. Which equation do we use? It must be equation E. Plugging in the values for initial velocity, acceleration, and time, we get 75 meters, which is the distance traveled by the habal-habal after 10 seconds. So it's just this simple. We just choose the right equation, plug in what we know, then we can solve for what we are looking for. These equations work for any other object, like that of the projectile. So it's important to master these equations. We will discover more amazing applications of these equations in the next contextualized videos. Seek and you shall find.